Hey guys, so today we have episode 2 of the rare and limited edition Chrysler 300s. This is part of a mini-series for the 300 as there are just so many to go through. The first video, part 1, started covering models from 2005, and this is part 2 continuing in chronological order. I'm also adding a bonus section for each video like this going forward that will cover a one-off Concept 300 at the end. And I've also made a video which covered 5 international 300 variations that either were or not available in the US. Let me know if you guys want to see a part 3 and beyond. Today I've included 6 different models and or packages, so let's get right into it. We'll start today's list with the first generation SRT8 produced from 2005 to 2010. The SRT8 was available each year from the inauguration as the most expensive model, beginning at $39,370 for 2005 and rising up to almost $45,000 by 2010. When looking at the inflation, that's roughly $50,000 to $53,000 in today's dollars, so the pricing was a good value for the time. Production numbers are on screen. Overall, there were 18,366 produced over the 6 years, but the vast majority were made in 2006 and 2007. After that, the production died off, so it seems like anyone who wanted one had already bought it. 69.6% of all the SRT8s went to American buyers, 6.2% went to Canadians, while surprisingly 22.1% were exported outside of North America. Chrysler used a waffle pattern grille for 2005 to 2008, and then they switched to a black mesh grille for 2009 and 2010. There are body color front and rear bumper inserts, mirrors, and door handles, which the other models don't get. Some modifications were added specifically for performance, like ducts in the front and back to feed air to help cool the brakes, and a small rear spoiler, which Chrysler claims increases the rear downforce by 39%. Inside, the SRT8 gets black leather bolstered seats with suede inserts, along with the SRT8 logo embroidered on the seat backs. Performance is one of the major reasons why anyone buys one of these vehicles, and this one doesn't fail to deliver. These first-gen SRT8s had the 6.1-liter V8 Hemi that made 425 horsepower and 420 pound-feet of torque, paired with a 5-speed automatic. Even with a curb weight of around 4,200 pounds, the SRT8 does 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds, the quarter mile in 13 seconds, and can hit a top speed of 173 miles per hour. The 300 SRT8 even drew performance comparisons to other pricier cars, such as the Mercedes-Benz E55 AMG and the Cadillac CTS-V, and for the price, it was arguably the better buy. As for some other features, these cars had 20 by 9 inch wheels with two 45/45 R20 front Goodyear Eagle F1 supercar tires and staggered 255/45 20s in the rear. Beneath the wheels are 4-piston Brembo calipers with 14.2 inch front rotors and 13.8 inch rears. So that allows the heavy sedan to stop from 70 to 0 miles per hour in just 162 feet. Another interesting and harder to find 300 would be the SRT Design Group, which was offered from 2007 to 2009. This was kind of like a bridge between the 5.7-liter 300C and the 6.1-liter 300 SRT8, and also kind of like a Daytona Charger. The 2007 300C Hemi started at $34,975, and this was an add-on for that model that only cost $1,495. The SRT8, as we mentioned earlier, was $40,000 and up depending on the year. So you can see this package is right in the middle. It was an absolutely fantastic deal for the price. That can't be argued as all the features you got add up to way more than $1,500. But of course there's haters for everything, and many people didn't like the package as SRT8 owners felt that it was kind of a knockoff way to get what they had, and others felt that it was an up-badging of what was really a 5.7 model. Another thing to note is that the SRT design was also available overseas in Europe and Australia on the 300C touring wagon model, but that's for another video. So first, this package added many of the SRT design cues, like the SRT fascia, SRT integrated deck lid spoiler, body color door handles and exterior mirrors, and the chrome mesh grille. Some might tell you that these also had wheels that were directly from the SRT8, but they would be wrong. This SRT Design Group came with a cast look-alike version, but instead of the 20 by 9 inch 10-spoke forged aluminum SRT8 wheels, these were 20 by 8 inch 12-spoke cast aluminum wheels. Tires were the same size as the fronts on the SRT, so 245/45/20, but these are not the same tire itself as they came with Goodyear Eagle RSAs instead of Goodyear Eagle F1s. And the final exterior feature was a deck lid badge that reads SRT Design. For someone who doesn't know the cars well, that could kind of easily be confused with the SRT8 badge. As for performance, this package gives up 75 horsepower and 30 pound-feet of torque as it has the 5.7-liter Hemi when compared to the SRT8's 6.1-liter V8. But that still means 350 horsepower and 390 pound-feet of torque, paired with the same 5-speed automatic transmission as the SRT. Performance was definitely improved over a standard 300C though. Just like the 06 to 08 Daytona Chargers, the horsepower is bumped up by 10 on these models thanks to a freer flowing muffler and larger intake airbox and intake tube. A high-speed engine controller is also used, topping out at 145 miles per hour versus 127 miles per hour in the 300C. The shocks are upgraded to self-leveling Nivamats in the rear, and the car uses the 9-land steering gear for more precise steering, which is straight from the SRT8. It skips the high-performance suspension and the Brembo brakes though. Arguably the best upgrade on these SRT designs are the performance seats that are also taken from the SRT8s. They are sport bucket seats with extensive side bolstering, finished in leather with suede microfiber inserts, one of the best seats offered on the market during this era. Instead of the SRT8 logo that's embroidered into the seat back, these simply have SRT. Also improving on the standard satin silver trim of the 300C, the SRT design got graphite pattern trim pieces, and a leather-wrapped steering wheel, door pulls, and shift knob. Finally, the Convenience Group 2 option was also included with heated front seats, dual climate controls, one-touch up and down front windows, and auto headlights. So instead of paying roughly $7,000 to $8,000 more for the SRT8, the 300C buyers could choose this package for just $1,495 and get many of those features at a fraction of the cost. In the first episode of this series, we covered the 06 to 08 300C Heritage Editions, and there was another Heritage Edition produced for 2009 with just 1,164 units built. The original MSRP for this car was $37,135 US. This Heritage package was tweaked slightly from the earlier versions and offered a bit more edgy style and performance in combination with the typical 300C luxury. On the outside, Chrysler went for a chromed out look. They added a unique bright chromed out mesh grille, chrome stripes under the quad HID headlights, also on the doors, door handle, side mirror, and another strip along the rear belt line. The blinged out look extended to the 20 by 8 inch chrome clad aluminum wheels that were wrapped with 245/45 ZR20 Goodyear all-season high-performance tires. The rear end also has bright polished dual round exhaust tips found between the diffuser. Just like all the Heritage Editions, there are badges on the front fenders. The badges were changed up this year when compared to the 06 to 08 versions, so instead of the 300C red, white, blue circular badge, they just put Heritage Edition writing with thin red, white, and blue stripes below it. I definitely prefer the previous badge though. On the inside, the sports seats are taken from the Dodge Charger SRT8, sporty, comfortable, and luxurious. They are power adjustable and heated, with real Napa leather trim with suede inserts. They also feature Heritage Edition vertical badges on the seat backs. There's a bit more chrome on the cup holders and door trim panels, and that complements the California poplar burl wood trim that's found on the steering wheel, center console, and dashboard accents. The interior is basically fully loaded, from the dual zone climate control to the heated rear seats. As for the performance, this model comes with the 5.7-liter Hemi V8 that had just been upgraded for 2009. This revised Eagle version added variable cam timing and revised cylinder heads among other things, resulting in a bit more horsepower. So the output here was 360 horsepower and 390 pound-feet of torque. The multi-displacement system, or MDS, will shut off 4 cylinders under light throttle for better fuel efficiency, and that is noted with an Eco LED light on the instrument cluster. That engine is also paired with Chrysler's 5-speed automatic with auto stick and a limited slip differential here. The performance continues with a suspension that's shared with the Dodge Charger RT Daytona, with pieces like specially tuned Nivamat self-leveling gas-charged shocks and stabilizer bars. Another amazing feature that we already talked about would be that performance-tuned 9-land steering gear that is also found in both the Charger Daytona and the SRT8 models, giving more feel and instant response. So overall, there are just a few additions here and there on this Heritage Edition, but they do make things more exciting and help the car stand out. A perfect mix of styling, comfort, performance, and luxury. Another limited version of the 300 was a refresh for 2010, the Chrysler 300 S6 and S8. Unfortunately, I don't know the production numbers, but there can't be too many since there was just 1 year offered and it was the last year of the first gen here. These were unveiled at the North American International Auto Show in January of 2010. This was the first instance of the S trim, and Chrysler actually had to stop calling them S6 and S8 the next year, partly due to infringement reasons, as Audi had already offered both of those vehicles for several years. The S became really popular the following year, and it has been a staple in the 300 lineup ever since. Shifting our focus back to the 2010 version, this is an interesting one because Chrysler was on the verge of introducing the second-gen 300 in 2011, but they wanted to give the car some excitement before the newer one arrived. Under the new Fiat ownership, the company was also eager to rebrand itself in any way possible as it waited for all those new models to go into development and or production. So the 300 S6 came with the 3.5-liter V6 engine with 250 horsepower and 250 pound-feet of torque, and that cost $32,635. The S8 had the 5.7-liter Hemi V8 with 360 horsepower and 390 pound-feet of torque, and that cost $38,760. Both used the 5-speed automatic with auto stick. Apart from the engines, the premise for these models was changing up the appearance. Instead of the chrome grills and accents, the S models got blacked out grills with a chrome bezel, body color fascia accents and side mirrors, cleanly shaven doors with no moldings, and dark headlight bezels. The final touches were 20-inch wheels with a polished face and painted black pockets, and a performance-tuned suspension. And of course there was a 300S badge/logo on the deck lid, but that design was different than anything Chrysler would ever use again. The interior also provided a few upgrades. Performance-bolstered seats have dark slate gray leather and suede, with a 300S logo embroidered in the seatback. The rest of the interior is also finished in dark slate. There was a unique carbon weave steering wheel with red stitching and brushed silver spokes. That carbon weave and red stitching continues to the door pull handles, and other accents include brushed aluminum and faux carbon fiber trim that's found on the instrument panel, center stack, center console side trim, and the door trim. Other technology includes a 13-speaker kicker audio system with a 322-watt amplifier and 100-watt subwoofer. Another model I wanted to include on this list would be the first-gen 300 Limousine conversion, keeping the front and rear end and extending the wheelbase, body, and interior. They are usually based on the Touring or 300C models, so either with the 3.5-liter V6 or the 5.7-liter Hemi V8. I've yet to find an SRT8 limo. Obviously these aren't factory creations, but they've got to be limited to a few thousand max out there as my estimate. It seems like there are three sizes, 70 inches, 120 inches, and the full-length 140-inch limo, and of course that's extra length added to the original size of the car. Most I found are the full-size version though. Some have extra doors on the side and some don't. Due to the 300's style and luxurious appeal, limo companies chose to add the 300 to their fleets. There are some for sale in the used market as well, with the prices ranging from $10,000 to $20,000 depending on the mileage. So the price actually isn't very crazy, probably around double what you'd pay for a regular used 300. Features vary of course depending on the company, but typically these seat 10 to 12 people. They have a few flat screen TVs, a mirrored ceiling with stargazer lights, fiber optic lights throughout the cabin, reupholstered leather seats in flashy colors, a nice audio system and DVD player, and a full-length bar. Pretty cool to see some of these conversions. And as for our bonus today, we're going to take a look at the 2010 Chrysler 300 EcoStyle concept. This was unveiled at the 2010 Geneva Motor Show. As the name suggests, many parts of this model are built with eco-friendly and recycled materials. The interior features materials like cork and bamboo on the door trim, center console and steering wheel, recycled jute carpeting, and suede seat inserts for all of the seats. On the exterior, the paint used is water-based, and the wheels are refurbished. Chrysler's concept had vanilla paint with a black roof, 20-inch wheels, and the 5.7-liter Hemi V8 engine with the multi-displacement system, which is ironically not that eco-friendly at all. Now, 2010 was memorable for a horrible reason, the catastrophic Haiti earthquake, causing an estimated $8.5 billion worth of damage. Chrysler was the exclusive automotive sponsor for the second half of the 67th Annual Golden Globe Awards on January 17th of 2010, and they used that opportunity to help raise money for relief. A mix of nominees and presenters partnered with Chrysler: Christina Aguilera, Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Hanks, Felicity Huffman, and Colin Firth, and they each arrived at the event in a different 300 EcoStyle limited edition vehicle. You can see some of the details on screen now, but pictures were very hard to come by, and each of these was auctioned off for charity after the event. So technically there are probably 6 to 7 of these vehicles that were actually made and sold out there somewhere. The president and CEO for Chrysler at the time, Olivier Francois, spoke a lot about the earthquake and how Chrysler wanted to fulfill their social responsibility to help in any way that they could. One last effort was that Olivier donated his personal vehicle, a 300C, which was parked at the entrance of the Beverly Hilton Hotel at the event, and signed by 300 celebrities and auctioned off, with that money going to help Haiti. And that car would sell for $100,000 alone. The EcoStyle was a nice idea and the car looked great inside and out, but it was a tough idea to pull off and sustain at the mass production level, so that was it for that car. And that's also the end of this episode of Rare and Limited Edition Chrysler 300 vehicles. Hope you learned something about the 300 and these unique models that were once offered. Let me know if you guys own any of these or have ever seen them on the roads, and make sure to let me know if you want to see a part 3. Thanks for watching, make sure to like and subscribe for all your Mopar content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.